Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the sources you share with us, articles, notes, maybe even videos, and, well, we dive deep.
That's right. We pull out the key insights, the nuggets of knowledge, basically giving you a shortcut to getting up to speed.
Exactly. And today's deep dive is custom built from some compelling sources you provided. We're looking at quite a powerful story today. It touches on faith, conflict, and a pretty amazing transformation. Our mission really is to unpack this narrative, see what it tells us about belief, compassion, maybe human connection itself.
And the source material, it comes from excerpts of a YouTube video transcript, right? Detailing something recent during the Amarnath yatra.
That's the one. So here's a question to kick us off. Have you ever wondered if, true devotion could actually spark a miracle, something that changes hearts, even when there's conflict? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the journey itself, the Amarnath yatra. It's this hugely revered annual pilgrimage.
To the holy cave shrine of Amarnath, yeah. Millions go every year.
Millions. It's a tough journey, a real act of faith and penance, especially during the month of Sawan. It's quite something.
And what's fascinating here, context-wise, is the region itself. It's a major Hindu pilgrimage, sure, but the areas around it, significant Muslim population.
Right, and their livelihoods, the sources say, often depend on the yatra, shops, services.
Exactly. But despite that connection, the sources also mention there are some individuals described as having wrong mindsets who resent the pilgrims. Some even oppose the whole thing.
And right in the middle of all this, we meet the central figure of the story, a lone sadhu, a Hindu ascetic.
Undertaking the yatra completely alone. No companions, no belongings to speak of.
Yeah, the description is vivid. Just a black sacred thread, the janu, ash on his body, a thick Rudraksha mala necklace.
And deep devotion, constantly chanting Mahadev's name, seemingly lost in meditation.
But the really interesting part, his solitary nature. Just him walking alone among these huge crowds. What do you make of that?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, his presence, it's almost symbolic, isn't it? Pure, unburdened devotion. It really sets the stage, highlights that inner journey he's on.
Okay, so the scene is set. Now, the incident itself, it happens on this very narrow path, flanked by high walls of snow.
And significantly, in an area with Muslim homes nearby.
Right, and the sources say the sadhu was suddenly confronted, surrounded by local Muslim youths who looked like they were actually waiting for him.
Which raises an important question about the confrontation itself. It wasn't immediate violence, according to the sources.
No, what happened first?
They started by mocking him, his appearance, laughing, asking things like, "Baba, why are you covered in this mud? What kind of religion is this?" That kind of thing.
Okay, so mockery first.
But it escalated quickly. The insults got sharper, more aggressive. They told him he couldn't pass, declared, "This area is ours and we won't let any infidel pass." Real challenge.
And the sadhu's response to this, because that sounds pretty intense.
That's what's remarkable. The sources stress his complete calm, humility even. He just gently asked to be allowed to pass, saying he needed to reach the Amarnath Dham by evening.
He didn't engage with the anger then?
No, not at all. His words were something like, "Son, this land doesn't belong to any religion, it belongs to Bholenath. This is the lap of the Himalayas. Faith rules here, not ego. You're young, you don't understand religion and humanity yet."
Powerful words.
Yeah.
But did they listen?
Unfortunately, no. The sources say their anger actually intensified, fueled by this fundamentalist ideology and wanting to scare other pilgrims.
And then it turned physical.
Yes. They tried pulling his saffron robes, then they snatched his trident, his treshel, and threw it far away, and they challenged him, basically saying, "Show us your God's power now. Cross this path if you can."
That's quite an escalation. And the sadhu's composure through all this, the sources really emphasize that, don't they?
They do. No fear, no anger visible on his face, only compassion and trust is how it's described. It suggests a deep inner state, a profound faith.
So what did he do then, after they threw his trident and challenged him?
This is key. He calmly closed his eyes, sat right down there on the ground, completely surrendered himself to Mahadev, as the source puts it, and just started meditating and chanting Om Namah Shivaya.
Just complete surrender amidst the hostility.
Exactly, a total detachment from the threat.
And then things changed. The sources describe a really dramatic shift.
Oh, absolutely. Suddenly, strong winds kicked up, the sky filled with dark clouds, lightning started flashing.
Okay, let's unpack this. The weather changed incredibly quickly, almost like a response.
That's how it's presented, yes. A direct, immediate response to his meditation. And then came the truly extraordinary part.
Which was?
Those tall snow walls around him, they started to melt. And right where he was sitting, meditating, an ice shivalingam began to form from the melting snow.
An ice lingam just appeared.
Gradually formed, yes. The youths were stunned at first, but then they started laughing, called it a trick, dismissed
We
it.
didn't believe it, even seeing it.
Apparently not initially. One of them, still defiant, actually picked up the trident they'd thrown.
Oh, the sadhu's trident.
Yes, and tried to use it to remove the lingam, sort of break the illusion.
And what happened when he did that?
Well, what's fascinating here is the immediate consequence. The moment he tried, this intense, strange light shone out from the Shiva lingam.
Light?
So strong, the sources say, it made the youths tremble. They couldn't even look directly at it.
Wow.
But that wasn't all. At the same time, these, miraculous healings happened among them, instantly.
Healings? Like what?
One youth had an old wound on his hand, just gone, healed without medicine. Another had suffered from chronic back pain for years, vanished completely.
Just like that.
Just like that. And the third one, who had poor eyesight for a long time, suddenly found his vision was completely restored. He could see clearly.
That's incredible. Hard to even imagine their reaction.
Profound shock, as you'd expect. These were the same guys mocking and threatening him moments before. Now they just fell to the ground, crying, begging for forgiveness, voices trembling. They understood they'd encountered something divine.
A complete turnaround.
Total. And then you see the sadhu's compassion again.
What did he do?
He gently helped them up, and his message was simple but powerful. Religion isn't for dividing, son. The one who unites, whether Hindu or Muslim, that's the true human.
He didn't hold their actions against them?
Not at all. And he explained something important. He said the miracle wasn't his power.
Oh, his power wasn't them.
He said it was the awakening of their own faith, their Shraddha, which had been hidden, buried under hatred and fear. He told them, when the divine light came from the lingam, your faith reawakened.
So the potential for faith was already inside them.
That's the implication. He connected it to Satyam Shivam Sundaram, truth, divinity, beauty. When the hatred lifted, their own inherent faith, that truth and beauty could emerge.
That's a profound way to look at it. And the youths, how did they respond after hearing that?
Their repentance seemed really genuine. They respectfully picked up the trident they'd thrown.
The one they tried to use on the lingam.
That's the one. They returned it to the sadhu, and then with their own hands, they started spreading flowers all over the path, the very path they'd blocked.
Transforming it.
Exactly. From a path of conflict to one of, devotion and love. As the source says, the path of struggle became a path of faith.
And did this event have a wider impact beyond just those youths?
Oh yes. What's fascinating here is the lasting effect on the whole valley. That area, known for being difficult, even scary for pilgrims because of some radical elements, it was completely transformed.
How so?
The very next day, thousands of Muslim devotees came to see the lingam. They openly accepted Mahadev as their god too. It transcended the religious divide.
Thousands. So the story spread that quickly.
It seems so. They basically said, if a god can do this, he belongs to everyone, not just one religion. A real moment of unity.
And is there any lasting legacy today?
The sources mention the sadhu's footprints are still venerated there, and that sometimes, for people with true faith, a small ice lingam spontaneously appears in that spot.
Wow. Still manifesting.
So what does this all mean? It seems to suggest that the sadhu's vulnerability, his lack of ego even when threatened, somehow created the space for this divine event.
Like surrender, not confrontation, opened the door.
Perhaps. It suggests transformation can come from that place of surrender and compassion, reawakening faith where you least expect it.
It's an incredible story, straight from your sources. It really speaks to transformation, unity emerging from conflict.
It definitely does. Which brings us to a question maybe for you listening to reflect on.
Yeah.
How do these kinds of shared experiences of awe, spiritual connection like this one, how do they help bridge divides, foster understanding in our world?
That's a great question. And it makes us wonder, looking at this deep dive from your sources, in a world that feels so polarized sometimes, could these moments, these flashes of grace, unexpected miracles, could they be the most powerful catalyst we have for unity and compassion? What do you think?